The beer festival on last weekend, went pretty good. To be fair, it's always difficult to understand how these things are going to go. We had all the protocols in place as a tester for the bar from a when the season starts. That was pretty good. For those who haven't seen the tents that we've got outside, the gazebos we've got outside, a little bit later I'm going to talk about some of the other improvements that have gone on with the ground to try and improve certain things, and I've got a couple of photos of that. From a COVID perspective as well, unfortunate, gutting really actually for Burton Park. They ground share with us. I don't think it's any secret that the relationship between the two clubs isn't fantastic, but still, it's such a shame for those guys to put all that effort in. They got the opportunity to play in the FA Cup for the first time in their history, and as a club that Kettering as a club, we kind of crow about our FA Cup records and things, and it would have been amazing for them to have chalked up an FA Cup game, but unfortunately wasn't to be. I know they did put a lot of effort in. They worked closely with our COVID guys. Opportunity to be on BBC. So yeah, it's irrespective of personalities and other things that go on. It's still a shame that they couldn't achieve that milestone, but. From what I can see, they've got a decent side for this season. I think they'll, I don't think it'll be the last time they'll have the opportunity to play in the FA Cup. So hopefully they'll kick on the season and they'll do it next year. So crowds in grounds. Obviously we've got a friendly tomorrow, Solihull Moors. We are still unable to play. With any crowd, so there'll be absolutely nobody, no spectators allowed into the ground at all, as per the rules. We will be streaming the game, and we will be streaming on an i4 platform. I know there's, I'm not on the social media side of it. I try and keep away from that if possible. Chairman prefers it that way. Doesn't like me getting embroiled in stuff that he thinks I shouldn't be embroiled in, but anyway. So people have been asking about what the links are between Future Lines, i4, etc. So people shouldn't be surprised that when they log in tomorrow to the Kettering Town feed, it will be run from an i4 streaming platform. It's not. As a company, i4 provide technology solutions to football clubs. So the products that we use at Kettering are so different to everybody else. So Gateshead, Kings Lynn, South Shields, who else is on it at the moment? Bradford Park Avenue, I think, are looking at it. There's a number of other clubs that are actually using our streaming platform, and they've already had numerous successful streams using it. So it's not, there is an arm's length relationship between i4 and Kettering Town, but obviously as the owner of the football club, if you have a technology business and the club wants to utilise those types of technologies, it's not beyond the realms of understanding to see why our club would use the owner's company to provide those services. Same as with Future Lines. Future Lines provide the education solution for, again, not just Kettering, but other clubs use us for the education provision with inside their scholars and their BTEC academies. So again, if Kettering Town wanted to do that and do want to do that, then why wouldn't they use the owner's company? So they are separate businesses. But as with anything else, as long as the commercial stack up and the club's not being in any way, shape or form penalised or losing out on anything by using our services and solutions, that will continue. So people shouldn't be surprised that there is that link between the two. But there's no managerial control. At the end of the day, if David didn't want to use one of these solutions and wanted to use something else, he's more than able to do that. Okay, so one of the key problems we've had at Latimer Park has always been power. Our friends at Western Power are doing a fantastic job. They've agreed to move the overhead and put it actually into its own ground station, as well as run another feed directly into the ground, so that we have more power coming into the site, which is fantastic for us. We also doubled up the marquees, tried them at the beer festival, worked really well. So when fans can come back, obviously we're limited to how many people we can have in the bar. We've now got more capacity to serve people beer outside during match days, which would be a massive help to us. Also, just to tidy up, we had new doors put on the clubhouse. We've now got new doors on the main entrance as well, just to try and get that continuity. So that's pretty decent. So those are a couple of things that have been done or changed. In the ground, we're still waiting for the tenant end to be delivered. Still being told it'll be here before the start of the season, so we're not overly concerned about that. So that's the update on that. I don't really think there's anything else that's going to change in the ground before we start the season. But obviously we're planning now what we're going to do in the off season for 2021, and hopefully that will be again see us jump forward and improve the internal match day experience, I guess is what they call it these days. We want people to enjoy their time here, which means they've got to be more comfortable, and that's what we're trying to achieve over the next 2 years. Okay, so people have been asking about the player that we spoke about early doors 2 or 3 weeks back ago, actually probably 4 weeks back now, about what was going on with that tribunal. Well, as it happens, the player's not coming, so there'd be no tribunal. As with all of these things, players come, players go. That's the way it is. Not really much more I can say about that. It's disappointing. We were keen on the lad. He gave us all the right noises. Was going to come, not going to come. Was going to come, not going to come. And in the end, you draw a line under it and say, well, if he's not ready at the moment, he's not ready. If he wants to stay at the existing club, or he's got a move somewhere else, that's entirely up to him. So we're not closing the door on it. Yeah, we're still hopeful that the time's right, and if he is looking to move, we'll get the opportunity. But right now, it's entirely in the hands of the player. We can't force a move if somebody doesn't want to move, or the existing club of giving him something that he thinks is going to be better for his long-term future, then that's entirely what happens. Players move on the other direction. As we've seen from this pre-season, it's probably been quite unique, really, as far as trialists in, trialists out. I know fans are frustrated that we don't announce things, or other clubs will announce things. Just because another club announces it doesn't mean it's actually happened. Some people jump the gun. We try not to. We also try not to announce things, and that we're going to, if we know a player's with us and they're talking to somebody else, or if we know a player's with us and we're looking at somebody else, that means that the player may not be here from the start of the season. I'd much prefer us to be moaned at for not announcing something than announcing 1 minute we've signed this player and then a week later they've left and gone somewhere else, or we've released them to bring somebody else in. So I think it's a unique pre-season for us. I have this conversation with Paul quite a bit. Normally we would have known what our targets were throughout the year. We'd have scouted them, and come the end of the season we had already had an idea of what players we were going to try and bring in. But because the season was cut short, we didn't have that opportunity. We didn't get Alan out scouting. We didn't get any reports back. People didn't show any interest. Just the whole football just stopped. So that made it quite challenging and quite unique. So there's been a high ratio of trialists that have been at games, but I think you'll find, especially from last week and obviously the Solihull Moor game tomorrow, I think you'll now start seeing a nucleus of a squad coming together, and hopefully another week or so we'll actually know what that first 16, 18, 20 man squad's going to look like. So I know fans will criticise us for not for in their perception we've signed people and not letting anyone know that's not normally the case. We want to to get news out there as fast as possible once it's actually happened, and we know that they're firm with us and we're firm with them. So hopefully that helps a little bit.